Leave now, before it's too late.
Is it getting cold in here?
Hello? Is there anyone there?
Hi everyone, welcome to the official launch of latest Swamp on Kickstarter. Tonight we're joined by me, Kieran Jack, and also the artist of the series.
Logan.
That's you.
That's me. Cue this guy.
Introduce yourself. Jeez.
Oh my God, the amazingly wonderful Logan French, artist extraordinaire.
Thank you everyone for joining in to the official launch. Like I said, I'm Kieran. I am the creator and we're off to a great start. I am the creator and writer of the series. Logan is the illustrator. We're here to talk about our campaign, The Lady of the Swamp. You've just seen the official trailer for the series featuring some of Logan's impressive artwork that he has been working on over the last how long have we been working on this project for, Logan?
About a month and a bit.
I think it's been a bit more than that.
Me laying down some actual work. I mean, conceptually speaking, it's been a little bit longer. Yeah,
it's been a bit of a. I mean, for anyone who is joining us here tonight, it's kind of, we've been working on this project probably for about 6 months in the background. Probably it was a year ago we really started talking about it. And I guess a little bit of background was that we're both movie fanatics when it comes to horror genre, and I think it was kind of a mutual fondness for it that's kind of brought us together on this project, and it's been really fun working with you on it. But it's great to kind of now have it out and kind of start to promote it after such a pre-launch.
yeah. Get it out.
How's it been for you, Logan, kind of coming in from a different position this time around, off the back, literally off the back of Amphibian Noir Part 2, which has just gone out to all the backers there, and it's being received such an amazing feedback on it already. So, coming off the back of that, how does that feel?
Jumping straight into it, you know me. I love this. I love to torture myself to some extent creatively, because if I don't keep pushing, it just stops. So gotta keep moving along, and that just as much as I do. You've always got, if you're not doing this, you got 6 other projects in the back pocket happening.
Literally, yeah. It feels like that at the moment. Yeah, 6 other projects is probably a
little bit extreme, but
is it?
Maybe not. Well, maybe not. But yeah, it is. I mean, it's a nice flow, jumping from one project to the next, and shifting genres and ideas on what's happening, and making a move from being creator, writer, artist to just artist is a little bit different. I'm not usually used to it, but you've given me plenty of creative control over this, so
Yes,
which I've run with.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Like it's definitely different for me because I've always been the artist of every project I've worked on, apart from the Talking Bread, right? The Rise of the Talking Bread, which is a little bit different, but really, this is a whole new world for me because I am not illustrating any of it apart from a variant cover. But for me, it's kind of coming into this project, and it's like giving you that, relinquishing that burden and the stress of the illustration. For me, it's great because I get to watch you develop these characters that I've been watching over the last few months do, and then start to produce these pages. And for me, I get a real kick out of that because it's almost like you're a film director and you're watching the dailies, or you're a producer and you're watching the dailies come in from a movie. That's what I feel like I am at the moment, because that's kind of the buzz I get every time you go, oh, here's a page, or here's a concept piece, so that's really cool for me. On the other side of it, I feel your stress though at the same time, because there's a lot of work to be done, and we're only really at the beginning of the project. I'd say maybe 25% of the way in regards to where we're at with that. And it is different. It is very different. But it also means that I can kind of focus on the writing of the project as well. Like this is, I think, I'm very close to coming out of this project from the writing side, and I'm doing a lot of edits on the final draft now. But what I'm seeing is that I've put a lot more emphasis on the writing, and I'm usually focusing on how the illustration can interpret my writing, which is great. I really am enjoying that. So it's fun to kind of watch that happen with you, whilst I get to kind of, I guess, evolve and nurture my writing skills. So look, I'm it's only early days. We're still working away. It's exciting. It's very exciting. It's exciting to be here tonight to actually launch the campaign, because it's been such a big road to where we are now. We will touch on this later on, but we've been given the Match Labs grant through Australian government and Creative Australia, and that in itself was, at the start of this month, I was at a clinic for that to talk about the project and how to kind of get it funded through crowdfunding. So, and then prior to that, once we got the notification we'd received, it was kind of, full steam ahead to get this project underway. Whilst we're kind of in the background getting Amphibian Noir finished.
Yeah.
We will never do that again. We're never doing that so close together. We've never ran a project this close together with other projects in the works. It's not something we try to do, but we do like to kind of space things out. But with getting the grant, we kind of had to go full steam ahead with that. So if you're wondering why we're going so close together, it's not of our choosing as such. We just have to kind of go with it with this project. So
this is true, because normally when we drop a project, we're very, very well into production. Whereas this one, I know we've been in 6 odd months worth of production, but we're still really just sort of touching on the start at the moment. So I mean, as per usual, once it gets going and pushes along pretty quick. But to be this early on in the stage is exciting and scary. Exciting and scary.
It's very scary, especially being one of our biggest campaigns we've ever done to date. This is the biggest target goal that we're reaching for, and we're wanting to kind of this is to pay, and that's not, we don't get paid for what we do, but being independent creators, we don't see a lot of profit come from our product. It's it's a labor of love. But with the funding from the Match Labs grant and with this campaign, it basically guarantees that everyone who is a part of this project will get paid through the Match Labs grant that we'll get from the government. So the Kickstarter side is basically paying for all the production costs. So the books and the pins and the variant covers and all that stuff have got organised, because we do, and we'll dive into that shortly, because we've put a lot of effort as per usual, probably over the top with what we've done. But to really give the back a bit, but that's how it's kind of broken up, and you can actually see that in the campaign when you go through it. So it's something that's really cool about it. Logan, I'm going to touch on this. For you, what's it like coming into it now? Because being such an avid horror fan, and we've talked about this, but it's a different style for you. Even though it is your style, you've had to kind of calibrate some things with it. What's it been like for you stepping into a horror style comic book from past pretenses?
It's actually a little bit exciting. So normally when I approach comic books, I approach from a comic book angle. So I'm producing something that I know that someone's going to hold in their hand and they're going to read a certain way and expect it to move a certain way. I'm approaching this book kind of like more of a director sort of perception, or cinematographer for that matter. I'm wanting to frame shots correctly. I'm wanting to make things look right in the panel in the way that I personally would expect them to be seen on screen. So it flows a lot more visually. So it's been a bit different to how I normally tackle things, taking into consideration, proper layouts of the way I can do things. It's probably going to take a little bit longer than I normally do when I'm producing work, but that doesn't matter, because once I get in the flow and the way of thinking with it, it will flow out really well, and it's just going to accentuate and make my work a lot better through the days and through the years to come, because it is going to change the way I do things from here on out, and the way I approach making or visualizing comic books, because regardless of whether it's a horror or an action or a noir or whatever, I'm seeing things through a lens a little bit differently, because that's the kind of approach we want. That's the kind of imagery we want, is to reproduce that horror film kind of feel that we love.
Yeah.
So yes, very excited, very different, but fun. I'm also having a lot of fun with lighting. Man. I love lighting.
And anyone watching, if you go on the campaign and look at it now, you can see that in the work that he's producing. Like, and I say it again, it's like, the great thing for me is that I get to watch you produce this content. Like I just said that, get to produce the pages. I don't know what the hell I just said then, but I get to watch you produce the pages, and that for me is just, it's a buzz, because I'm watching you evolve your skill set. And again, coming off the back of Amphibian Noir 2, which is, it's an acid trip. That's what it is. It's an acid trip.
And that was a big project as well. So shifting from one big project to the next is making me feel like a real artist, someone who's
you are, you are. You've always been. I think it's just that now you're doing large format graphic novels. It's definitely it's taking it up a notch, and for me to kind of I guess nurture that from you doing zines to now doing graphic novels, I'm seeing the development in your skill set, and I'm seeing you transform how you do things into different ways. working with a script for starters it's a new format for you, because
it's new
for
for
anyone
me.
for anyone who doesn't know, Logan doesn't work with a script when it comes to amphibian noir. Just ask Brad when it comes to lettering. And it's the process, and I think that's what we learn as creatives. Like, I started out without a script, likewise with the first couple of Talking Breads, and then I slowly started to develop that cognitive skill when I was going through the process of doing issue 3 and so on, and I've slowly started to develop that. Now I've come to the writing solo. Brad. Now I'm come to writing this project. I've poured my heart and my soul into developing the skill set in writing, and challenging myself in that process, because it's something probably I haven't ever done to the extent of what I'm doing right now. And it's funny because you've read the script, Brad's read the script, and also our good friend Tim Stiles has recently read the script for Lady of the Swamp. And the conversation from each one of you on the difference of where they're thinking it comes from is a different conclusion each time, which is great for me, because it means that I'm touching on points and I'm writing the story differently to other people's perspectives. Yeah. And so for me, that gives me a real buzz, because it means that hopefully I'm developing my skills as a writer too. So yeah, that's a lot of fun for me as well. Like I'm enjoying both sides of it, and relinquishing the burden of illustrating. Plus, I've got enough projects on my plate at the moment too.
That's right. I've got to find time to squeeze in the next amphibian noir too.
Well, you've already started that. I mean, that's already in the works. So yeah, it's really a labor of love to do this project. I've been wanting to write a horror story for a while, and it was just for me, horror is my favorite genre when it comes to film. And over the last few years, the horror genre in comics has really taken a big leap. We've got, Something is Killing the Children, The Silver Coin, The Ice Cream Man are just a few that I've off the top of my head. And there's The Red Room. You've got 30 Days of Night, which is a bit of an old school one when you think about it now. It was released nearly 20 years ago. So these kind of horror comic books are slowly getting bigger and bigger, and you're seeing a lot of independent publishers come out with their own stuff. Black Caravan is consistently pushing out horror content, which is amazing. And we're very fortunate to have a horror comic book artist join us in this project for a variant cover. Marco Fontanelli, who's joining in to do a variant cover for that. He's got his own horror comic book series called The Pentagram of Horror, which was produced through Black Caravan and Scout Comics. He's a big horror fan, so to have him on board for this project is just such a really big buzz for me as well. And checking out the Kickstarter campaign, you'll be able to see that his work is fantastic. And you get there's the variant cover there. It's a holographic foil, so really excited for that. But before we go any further into, I thought we might jump into the campaign. And excuse me, we might talk about the Kickstarter campaign. Logan, you are doing some drawing, by the way, too, aren't you?
Oh well, you told me that I should. So I'm sitting here with it all open, ready to go. And do you want something in particular, or you just want me to start?
I mean, there's a special little something if we reach our target goal. I mean, there's something we've got organised. You are working on something. Maybe we can talk about that later on.
You want me to start scribbling away at that, or you want me to?
Yeah. Go for it.
Oh, now I have to change the format of my page and everything.
Oh, here we go.
The diva artist strikes again.
First world problems. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the campaign now while Logan gets himself set up, and we'll go through the campaign itself. Once my computer decides it wants to share the screen. Go. Yeah, there we go. And as you can see, I'll just bring this up. There we go. So this is our campaign that we've been working on for the last few months, and now it's obviously live. Thank you to everyone who has backed the campaign so far. We really do appreciate it. We have a 30-day campaign. We're looking to raise $5,000. And every dollar that you donate in that $5,000, the Australian government and the Creative Australia, through the Match Labs grant, will match it for dollar, which is fantastic. It's an absolute honor to be a part of this program and to be accepted by it and actually have their support with the campaign. But we only get that funding if we reach our target goal. So yeah, The Lady of the Swamp is a supernatural horror story told through a 96-page, fully coloured graphic novel. It's one of our biggest campaigns to date, and also one of our biggest books we're going to be releasing. So The Lady of the Swamp is actually based around a true story that happened down in Gippsland. We've kind of created our own little story around it, and we're kind of playing off that, the original one, but having a little bit of changes with how the story goes. So 50 years ago in a West, yes, creative freedom in that. Good analogy there, Logan. 50 years ago in a remote rural homestead, something happened, something heinous, something so evil, so horrifying that the swamp swallowed its secrets until now. When an unsuspecting school bus carrying 12 students and their teachers ventures into this remote rural homestead in Gippsland, Victoria, on an excursion, they soon discover that this will be an education that they won't soon forgotten. When Blair and her fellow students become trapped on the property, they will have to uncover the malevolent secrets of the property's past, unleashing the swamp of evil upon them all. So yeah, this has been a real labour of love when it comes to writing this story. So you can tell from that there in our little blurb at the start, and you've got Logan's cover there, which he's absolutely smashed, and it's so exciting to see this cover for the first time. There was a lot of back and forth with the concept and how we kind of approach it. I think you'd had like 3 or 4 concepts, Logan, from memory.
I think I had about 4. Yeah, about 4. And then we settled on one, and then I changed that one to something else. And then, there was quite a bit of back and forth about how to approach it. But I think we came good. We came good in the end.
Yeah, and you did. It's definitely it. At first, I was kind of like, "Oh, hang on, we're going another way," and then I was like, and then you showed me the finish when you delivered the finished product. It was like, "Wow, okay, I know why you went down this route," and it was quite a shock to me, and in a good way. So I was very pleasantly surprised by it. We started teasing a little bit of artwork here. I think it was one of the first pages you delivered. No, second page, sorry, but it was there's something about this. It's so romantic at the same time as kind of being like, it just draws you in, and you're like, you want to know what's going on.
It's
the calm before the storm.
Yeah,
the calm before the storm. But yeah, so yeah, it's Halloween. Happy Halloween, by the way, everyone. Here in Australia, it's Halloween. I'm sure where you are overseas, it's starting to get into Halloween. It's definitely a lot more accepted over in Australia now. Lots of kids running around tonight, doing knocking on the door, getting some candy and some chocolate. So like we talked about at the start, Logan and I have a very mutual enjoyment of horror. So this is a really strong partnership we're going into here to kind of create this project. We also, while we're diving into, we have a day one exclusive that I did mention at the start, where you will get anyone who pre-orders the comic, pledges towards the Kickstarter within the first 24 hours. So from 10 p.m. of the 31st till 10 p.m. on the 1st of November, will receive a gift. So we've got a sticker for anyone who pledges towards a physical reward, and we have a digital wallpaper for anyone who pledges towards a digital reward. And then once that 24 hours is over, that's it. Those people who were a part of it exclusively get those rewards. Then we have our variant covers. So we've got the VHS one, which was mine. I've decided to do a bit of a homage to VHS films. That's where my love for horror began, back in the video store of the early 90s. As a 10 to 12-year-old, going into the local store, knowing the owners and being able to rent some pretty gnarly horror movies that probably a lot of kids wouldn't have been allowed to. So yeah, I've decided to do a bit of a homage to that. We do have something in store for that cover if we can reach some of our target goals. But we'll discuss that more later on in the campaign. And then we do have Marco Fontanelli's cover that he's whipped up. It's a black and white cover, but this is going to be a foil holographic cover. So it's going to be shiny. And it's pretty impressive. I'm really excited by this cover. I think there's only a limited amount of 30. We're only doing a run of 30. So they will hopefully be snapped up really quickly. So don't delay on jumping onto that one if you can. So the funding for, what is the funding for? So it's going towards the publishing and printing of Lady in the Swamp. It also goes to supporting the creatives involved. So myself, Logan, and Brad. And we've got an editor as well who will be editing the project when it comes near completion. We also, obviously we've been talking about that tonight, where it's actually sponsored by the Australian government and Creative Australia for their grants program Match Labs, where they'll be donating dollar for dollar for most of our pledges when we reach our goal of $5,000. We have to reach that goal to be accepted into that as well. So who is this for? Who would be interested in reading this? So if you love horror, supernatural, or slasher films and stories, then you're going to get a kick out of this. This is definitely going to be down your alley. It's for horror buffs who enjoy movies like The Evil Dead 1 and 2, Halloween, The Babadook, Phenomena, The Fog, Wolf Creek, and many more. More recently, one comes to mind is Talk to Me, which Logan's just recently watched and was quite
thoroughly impressed.
Shocked. Thoroughly impressed. Nice analogy.
Thoroughly impressed. It was an amazing piece of work, considering there was only one death in the film.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Wow. Now you made me think about that. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. Comic book readers who enjoy Something is Killing the Children, 30 Days a Night, Outcast, Red Room. Silver Coin isn't on there. I should have put Silver Coin on there, but that's another one. You'll definitely get a kick out of it. It's another horror comic book, but it's, like I said, it's been a process writing it to try and create a story within a comic book that's horror and it's able to thrill and keep you in suspense. So if you enjoy those kind of comic books, then you're going to definitely enjoy that. There's no tights. There's no superheroes in this. It's all balls to the wall, gore and blood. And now we're going to jump into a bit of a preview of some of Logan's just absolutely gorgeous artwork he's been producing. So we've got some of our prologue here, which involves the kids on their way to the homestead. Preamble of Doom. Then we've got the glorious shot of the homestead. That was the first page you produced, by the way, isn't it, Logan?
Yeah, that was the this is the kind of mood we're going for shot.
Yeah, I remember the conversations back and forth on this. Yeah. We've got some nice bloody corpses, or bloody, no, they're not corpses yet. Nice bloody arrays happening. And then we come to a page you've just finished doing today. And it's just, again, it just keeps knocking me out. Like every time you show me a page, it's like, God damn it, you just stop teasing me like this. Like they're just so impressive, and I'm shocked by them every time I see them. Like you keep knocking me out of the park, Logan. And you know, us working together was the right decision. So yeah, there's a possession scene of our lead character Blair, which will obviously, that's spoilers. I'm giving stuff away now. Sheesh. Can't be doing
Not really.
that.
It happens pretty early on.
Well, yeah. Well, she's in the main cover, and it looks like she is possessed. And then we have her there once again, possessed by the swamp. Sorry, I just needed to hydrate then. So yeah, that's some of the pages. There's 6 pages that Logan's already completed. There are some more down the bottom of the campaign you can check out. So if you want to have a further look at some of the pages, there are some more down the bottom that Logan has been working on and completed. Some of them are lettered. Bradley Aiden, who is a Super RBA creator, he is actually lettering this project. So he's quickly knocked out some lettering tonight, just to give you a bit of a story. And then we jump into our awards. Again, we've got the day one exclusive for anyone who backs the campaign in the first 24 hours. We've got our digital awards. We've got our standard awards. Now, actually, something with this campaign is we're offering a free digital reward with every pledge. We've got a new series that we've started off, spin-off series 2 in Purgatory, which is Tales of the Underrealm. So it's mini stories that take place in my other series in Purgatory. And so you can if you pledge towards that, you'll get a free digital copy of that comic book series that's just freshly started. So it's another bonus for anyone who backs the campaign. So yeah, standard edition. We've got the variant cover, all included digital copies of Lady of the Swamp as well. We've got the retail edition, which is for our retail backers who are interested in stocking in store. This is worldwide, so if you're interested in stocking the Lady of the Swamp, it includes 3 copies. You get a Lady of the Swamp poster for the in-store use, and you also get a invoice sent out with the actual package and a digital one as well. So there's those bundles. That's what's included in that bundle, but it's actually really useful from previous ones we've done that they get those kind of details included within their bundle. Then we've got the book and the enamel pin. Now, the enamel pin has been very well talked about before the campaign launch. So we're doing a special edition glow-in-the-dark enamel pin. This is based off the VHS cover that I created. We're using the character, the Lady of the Swamp, hunched over the house, the homestead, sorry. And when you, obviously, it's going to glow in the dark. So lights are off and it'll really glow in the dark, which is really cool. We'll be able to do something. We've done this once before with one of the Purgatory pins. We're returning back to that format with the glow in the dark one. Then we come to our foil variant cover by Marco. So yeah, again, this is a limited edition, 30 of. So they will go quickly, and definitely jump on those if you want to get yourself Marco's cover for this release. Then we have the covers bundle, which includes mine and Logan's covers, along with the digital copy. We've got the sketch reward, where you'll get a sketch from either Logan or myself, an A4 sketch of a character from the series. Then we come to the covers bundle. We've got, just realised we're missing a bundle in there. We come to the covers bundle. We've got the cover for Logan's artwork. So you'll get the original 11 by 7 inches cover by Logan. And you get the pin and 2 covers, plus a digital copy of Lady of the Swamp and a free copy of Tales of the Underrealm. Then we've got cover 2, which is my cover, and all the others included again. Then we come to a really fun one we've got planned for this. This is actually really exciting. So we've got Get Drawn In. So we've done these a few times with our campaigns, and we're kind of going back to this and kind of thinking, well, what can we do to kind of, include the reader and the people who enjoy reading our books. So we have created a Get Drawn In cover. So you will have your likeness drawn into a specific page of the book. We do have a really special page lined up, don't we, Logan?
We do indeed. And,
we do.
It's all up here.
It's all up here. Yeah, there's a bit to be done with this one. So to give people a bit of an insight, we're doing a scene within the story, and I guess more so for Australian watchers and people who are familiar with it, there were things called milk bars back in the day. Now I sound old. Where you go there and you get your lollies and your newspaper and your milk if you're usually around the corner from your house. There's one located every couple of kilometres around towns, and maybe sometimes you get fish and chips there. Who knows?
That whole
but we're going to
before
do
the supermarket kind of thing.
Yeah, before the supermarket chains took over. So yeah, we're going to do a milk bar scene. So inside the milk bar, we've got 5 spots for, guest cameos that will look like local. You'll be a local within the actual panel, splash page panel, same thing. So that's a really cool incentive. So if you really want to jump onto that, I would do it quickly because I reckon that one's going to go very fast. And then Logan's got his work cut out for him to get that organised. Sorry.
Well, thankfully it's a page in the comic, so it's just a part of the process, eh?
Yeah, part of the process. Design your own cover. So this is a real fun one. This is something we've never done before. This is the first time for us. So if you would like to have yourself included in the cover, or you want to do something different with a cover, you will be able to work with Logan or myself of your choice, and we'll illustrate a cover for you personally. And you will receive 10 copies of that comic, where you can keep them, you can give them to friends, you could sell them, whatever you want to do. The point is that you'll get your own specialized cover of The Lady of the Swamp. So that's a really cool incentive. We only got one of those. It is a higher tiered priced bundle, but hopefully it's something that you'll be someone out there will be really interested in getting. But yeah, one of those. So if you're interested in getting that, jump onto it quickly. We've got add-ons, so there's a few things you can get. If you see something that's not in your bundle and you want to add it in there, jump in there and add it on. We've got this digital edition, the enamel pin. We've got the standard edition, which is Logan's cover, my variant cover, which is the VHS cover, and Marco's foil variant cover. For the enamel pin, the VHS, and Marco's cover, there are limited amounts. We haven't got a lot of those. We've actually limited those due to productions. So just be wary of those. Stretch goals. Now, we have got some really cool stretch goals. So if we reach our target goal of 5,000, we have something we've organised with a few other comic book creators that we've got. Then for the $6,000, we have got a fridge magnet that is really cool design. And then the 7,000, we've got something that Logan is currently working on. He's not listening right now.
Yes, I am. No, I'm listening, but
concentrating.
Concentrating.
I don't know if I don't know if he can show us while he's doing it, but I
do have the technology.
Yeah, we do have the technology. There you go, guys. For anyone who knows me, I am a very big movie fanatic, and I love. In Australia, we have these things called day bills, which are the very narrow, tall posters that you would see at a cinema back in the from the 1920s up until the 1990s, and I love them. I've actually got a couple here myself, and I'm getting a frame, but I thought, why not try and do that? So Logan is working on a very it was a homage. It's a homage cover to a certain movie, and I'm guessing certain people who love horror will understand where the homage is coming from. But we'll show them. Well, when I've got this, you get yourself sorted.
Yeah, when you're done there.
But we'll come back to that. So that's another stretch goal we've got. We've got ones for when we reach 100 backers. We've got another one for 200 backers. So we've got heaps of stretch goals organised, already ready to go. So just a matter of jumping into that. I'll quickly run through the creative team. But we've got myself. I'm writing and I created the story. We've got Logan, who's illustrating. Brad, who is tonight being the master of controls. And so he's an MC for tonight in the background. And then we've got Marco, who has created the variant cover that looks just incredible. So that's the team behind the project, which is really great to have all these guys a part of it. Then we've got our timeline. So we're now under the pump to work this campaign and get it funded. We're in production already. We'll continue production throughout the Christmas New Year period. And then once everything opens back up in February, we'll production. So basically, hopefully, we'll have everything in production for print and hopefully back in March. And then April, June was when we'll be sending out all the rewards. Production breakdown costs, gives you a bit of an idea of where the money is going and what we're spending it on. We like to be really transparent in that. Shipping is a major headache for anyone who is familiar with it. So we've really broken that down for you guys to give you an understanding of how it happens and what we try to make sure we've done it enough to realize what the to do and the don'ts are, and we're still learning, but we're making sure that we kind of no one misses out on their rewards. Things to remember: so pledge early to help spread the word. It helps Kickstarter stay at the top of the projects list longer, and also helps us reach our stretch goal sooner. So remember that you pledge today, no money will be taken out until the campaign is at its end date, and we have to reach our target goal. So if we don't reach our target goal, that money doesn't come out. Just remember that. So we need to reach that target goal, which is really important, both for the campaign and to get our government funding. And then you've got some bit more gorier pages happening and a bit more further preview. So that's a campaign in a nutshell, guys. It's been a huge undertaking to get it to this point. And it's really exciting to kind of share that tonight with you all. And also I've got a few more backers jumping on board, which is exciting. But yeah, it's a big process, and we're really hoping that we can get everyone on board for this one. Everyone jump on board and back this campaign, because it is a huge process, this one.
It's a few pages,
yeah, it's a few pages. It's it's biggest. Well, it's the biggest script I've written in one go. Not the biggest script, because I've done Talking Bread and In Purgatory, and
yeah, I mean, if you collectively look at that stuff.
Yes, yeah, yes, Darren, thank you. It's on its way, which is great to see. It's a lot of hard work, but it's hopefully it'll pay off. How you going, there, Logan?
You want me to do a little bit of sharing?
Why not? You can share. You're able to control the
let me
control the computer.
Technologies. Let's just let me hit this and share this over here.
I've got to say, I do love how you've gone for the whole noir style filter.
Yeah, I thought go with the black and white kind of suited the topic a little bit. So what we got here is our super long format image. So it's 297 by 630. So it's A4 3 up in height. And I'm doing a bit of a homage to Scanners, which is getting on a few years now. That film,
40,
had one of those,
at least 40 years.
Yeah, getting close to, and it's early David Cronenberg film, which really blew my mind. It was such a trip of a film to watch. But its movie poster was stunning. It was like an absolutely amazing piece of work, and to do something that is even similar to it is going to be a lot of fun. Now this is I really
hope we unlock this stretch goal, because it's one that I'm actually excited about, because I want to put this up in my room or my studio and have it there, because it's like, as soon as you sent me like the screenshot of like, this is what I want to do, and I was like, yes, let's
do that.
Like Cronenberg's his posters are always like above and beyond. Like they tell so little but tell so much at the same time. I'm excited by it. I cannot wait to see the finished product, and you're chipping away at it now. I can start to see the mind process kind of working away, which is fantastic. Favorite Cronenberg film?
Oh, horror or just in general?
Just in general.
Just in general. Naked Lunch.
Really?
Hey, come
Wow.
on! How can you be surprised by that? It's one of those movies that just throws anybody for a loop because it's so out there. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
But if you break it down, its construction, its filmography work, it's or everything plays perfectly. And as far as Cronenberg goes, that was his kind of like his peak film, where everything just sat right. Everything after that, if you were going to go with his more modern stuff, I would have to say History of Violence.
Yeah. I'm just looking at his catalog now. Like, he's got some. He must have some producing credits on some of the stuff he's done.
Yeah, no. So his work covers everything from, his early stuff, which was really crazy, it borderline horror because it wasn't always horror. It was just really confronting.
Yeah.
But his later work, and he always explores, he's always exploring how the mind works and its desires and, its rundowns of its, more bestialic kind of notions.
Yeah.
So Cronenberg is horror, but done in a different way. Very similar to the way Clive Barker's horror.
Yeah, I think Barker's horror is. I think Barker's is a lot more gore.
It is a lot more gore, but it's heavily focused on human desire, and it's heavily focused on the things that we think further, deeper down inside ourselves.
It's funny because I think like I was meant to watch it because I usually do for anyone who's watching. I normally do a Halloween month where I'll go through and watch just selected Halloween films, like horror films, slasher films. Doesn't matter what it is really in the sense of the whole Halloween genre. But I'll watch those films, and I actually had Videodrome on there to watch, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. But it's a hard choice because I think Videodrome and Scanners are probably one of my favorites, but I think it's the horror. I think it's the real horror side of it, like the classic scene in Scanners where he blows the head up. Like, you say Scanners to anyone, they go, "Oh, the head blowing up." The what was it? Was it a judge or was it a? I can't remember what it was now, but yeah.
Oh, was he? Yeah, he was a judge. Oh, maybe.
I can't remember. But anyway, so yeah,
it's actually pretty early on in the film.
That
it happens. And it's like a military group. That's what it is. It's like a set of doctors, like a military set of doctors that are testing the scanner ability and its functionality.
So it's a real hard choice. I haven't seen Crimes of the Future, so I kind of need to watch that too. But it's funny. Like this cover, this Dable post you're working on is fantastic. It's just, I'm really excited by what you're doing with it, and if we can reach this stretch goal and hit our target funding, it'd be really exciting to see that happen. And like I said, we've just hit 10%, and that's really exciting in the first hour. We're coming up on the first hour, so if we continue this trend, we'll be well and truly on our way, hopefully, which is exciting in itself. So with the campaign itself, I don't know how much time I've got left, but we're fortunate enough to be accepted into the Creative Australia's Match Lab grant, which was very exciting. We've applied for a few times, unsuccessfully reached it, but this time around we were accepted into it. So, which is, it was a real pinch me as his real moment. So it was cool to be able to, be a part of it. And I got to go into Melbourne for a 2-day clinic where we kind of learn about the do's and don'ts of crowdfunding and, getting donations and stuff like that, which was really interesting to learn about. And, building a social media audience and kind of nurturing that audience. I myself have done a few campaigns in the past, and it kind of showed me where I might have been going wrong, but also showed me the places I was going right and doing the right things. So it was really great to be a part of. I learned some things. I met some great people who have also, there's about 20 applicants that get accepted out of I think they said 200 people that were applied for it this year. So really honored to be a part of that audience and that group of people who were accepted. And again, we're basically based around, if we can reach our target goal, we'll receive that funding. So all the pledges we get towards the campaign mean everything. So we want to make sure we get those. So everyone who's backing the campaign, we appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell your family. If we can, more we get, the better you guys will get, and more stuff you guys will get at the end of the campaign. So let's keep the fingers crossed there. So I think what else we're going to talk about whilst we're here. Logan, have you got anything that you wanted to add to what I've been talking about?
Not a lot. Not much more than, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for this project and to get it, to really get it out there, because I think it's really gonna I think it's going to impress is what's going to happen, and people are going to see what's happening in the Australian creative industry, and how hard we're pushing to really get out there, because this isn't just for the Aussie audience. We're looking to push worldwide with this thing and get it out there and show people what we can do.
And I guess that's the great thing about Kickstarter, is that it is a system where it is pledge to help support a project and get it created, but it also is a great way of getting the work out to a large audience. And that's what I found the best thing about this whole process is that you reach that audience that may not go to an online store and buy a comic book from that independent creator. But it might be another way of getting it out to those people who might not go to comic book stores, or they might not shop online. They only trust Kickstarter. And that's the great thing about it, is that we really do have that extra way of getting out to a larger audience. And you are right. We're definitely both pushing the boundaries in our own skill sets, myself with writing and yourself with illustrating. And to have feedback already on the project has been really exciting. It just goes to show that, we're definitely onto something, and we're definitely getting the right feedback. Otherwise, I'd be a bit stressed if we weren't getting feedback. We weren't getting we were getting the wrong kind of feedback. So yeah, look, again, I'm really excited by this. I'm excited to tell this story. It's the first step for my horror writing, and I love horror. I adore it. It's one of my favorite film genres. So to be able to kind of create a comic book that's inspired by the stuff that I grew up with, but it is my own story, and to have you to illustrate those pages and see them come to life, it's just such a great experience to be a part of. And I say that because I'm, again, I can't help myself. I've got to have 5 other projects, like you said before, I've got to work on. So there's probably 5 other projects in the background working on that you don't know about yet. But that's who I am. Yeah, so like, to be honest, it's just such a great feeling to see this project come alive and to see it be well received already. We've already got 10% funding in the first hour, so fingers crossed that keeps rolling through the nights, whilst Halloween rolls through America now and the rest of the world. So it's wrapping up here in Australia. But yeah, thank you everyone for supporting the campaign. It does mean the world to us. Keep spruiking it on your own social medias if you can. Keep talking about it, telling your friends about it if they're horror buffs. As many eyes to it as we can, and let's get it funded and let's get these rewards and these stretch goals unlocked, like what Logan's working on right now, because I too want to see this come to fruition. I think that might be about it for tonight. I think we've really covered everything that we wanted to. I will be on the comics podcast live stream on Friday night, and then I'll be joining into the comics to movies live stream on Sunday night to chat with all those guys. I've got some podcasts coming out on some other stuff. Yes, Jay, yes, 96 pages. It is a full-on graphic novel. Yes, we are.
I'm going to say 96.
Wow.
Because writing wise, yes, it's 96 pages of writing, but is it 96 pages of art? That's a different story. It may or may not be that.
You need to elaborate on that. Because you don't have any self-control. Jay, you may have just opened up Pandora's box.
True. I do lack a little bit of self-control when it comes to page layout and getting things, looking right on the page. I do like to make things look good and read well and all that sort of stuff. So,
Wow, I don't know if should I take that as a compliment or is that an insult?
What do you mean? No, it's because your writing is inspiring me to produce more work. And
you got some brown stuff on your nose now.
It's chocolate, I swear.
Shit. Yes, so it's definitely going to be a big one. Was it? I did a page count today, and it's about 86 pages of story, and then we've got some extra credit pages and bonus pages from some content. I don't think it's going to balloon any more than that. I think we're pretty tight now with the story after a few revisions, and when we get into the final stage of lettering, it might change a little bit. We don't know, but yeah, so it's a fully fledged graphic novel this time around, bigger than anything we've ever done, any of us have ever done. So the pressure's on, Jay. The pressure is on to get this done and get it done right. So we're excited by that. It's I think that's about it. I think we've all got, unless someone's got some questions they want to throw in before we wrap this up, which we're happy to answer. Any questions about the campaign or the story without giving spoilers away, or any questions. But if you've got anything, chuck it in before we wrap up, and we'll call it a night here in Upside Down land.
Upside down. Here you go.
It's really cool to see that we've hit 10% in the first hour too. By the way, I'm so excited by that.
It's nice.
530.
It's really good to know that our supporters are out there. Enjoying what we do.
Yes, absolutely, and it's great to see that there's that support there. I'm sure it'll continue to grow during the night, which I know it will. But yeah, I think that's really all there is for this evening. No more questions. Nope. All right. We might wrap it up tonight, guys. Thank you again for joining in. It's been great to be able to talk the project. Logan, anything final to say before we wrap it up?
That's not the final piece. That's, of course, a sketch. The finished product will look very nice and shiny. So make sure we can unlock that so I can make that gorgeous poster.
Hell yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Hell yes.
On
definitely.
Top of all the other pages I'm doing.
Yeah. But at the same time, we've got it mapped out. You've got it. we've got it all planned out, so we know what we're doing. We've done this enough to know how to kind of control the narrative of creating these books, and we're kind of we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, we've been here. We've done this. We've got it.
We've done this. We've got a bigger number to hit. Yeah, awesome, guys. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you for supporting the campaign. Please, if you haven't yet, check it out. Support it. Tell your friends, your family members. Tell the guy next door. Tell the guy down the street. Tell your barista. Tell your mailman. Tell everyone. I mean, tell everyone. But yeah, thank you once again for joining in. I'm Kieran. You are. Who are you? You're
I'm Logan.
Yeah, you're Logan.
I'm that guy.
And we'll see you next time on the next live stream we do, which might be sooner or later. Thanks, guys.
Will be the wrap up.
The wrap up, yes. There we go. We've got a wrap up one we're going to be doing. Just announced tonight. Thank you very much, Logan. Thanks for putting that pressure on.
More work.
Too easy, guys. Thank you.